What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to their PE, Nintendo Switch, and gaming news video. Today, we've got a few topics for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Level 5 is looking into a brand new Professor Layton game on the Nintendo Switch. However, touchscreen controls seem to be the issue at this point. Next game of the Professor Layton's game series, Layton's Mystery Journey, is out this year, but what's in store for the series after that? Speaking to Eurogamer, Level 5 CEO Akito Hino has said the following about a possible Layton game on the Nintendo Switch. Quote, "I played Zelda, I love the Switch. I think it's an amazing piece of hardware. The problem is, the Layton series does a lot with the touchscreen and pointing. So the problem with the Switch is, if you play on handheld, you can do it. But if you put it on the dock, so we're trying to figure out how that would play into it. If we can get around that and figure out a way of doing it, definitely, we're looking into putting the next Layton game on the Nintendo Switch." So at the very least, it looks like they are trying to figure out different ways in terms of getting Professor Layton on the Nintendo Switch. I would suggest using the same controls as, like, let's say World of Goo. That game has a pointer on there, but I would also say try to adapt it to where you can play with standard controls as well. I know Professor Layton games have all sorts of weird touch mechanics and all of that, but I would think that just basically people like the puzzle solving about the Professor Layton series and just the story and the characters, so I think that's the main thing, and try to adapt it to where you can use buttons for those games as well. And I know maybe it's not as fun, but there are some things that you can do, for example, the pointer controls like World of Goo has, in order to make sure that you can try to bring over experience that fans would like. So I think there should be options for both, but I do feel that Professor Layton will be coming to the Switch at some point. It's only a matter of time. People really supported the franchise on the Nintendo DS and the 3DS. I think there's a 3DS game too. Yeah, there's 3DS games. So yeah, I think that this game will definitely be coming over to the Switch at some point. Maybe next year. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Shigeru Miyamoto says that Pikmin 4 is still, quote, progressing. So, Nintendo legend Shigeru Miyamoto has given an update to Eurogamer on his long-awaited next project, Pikmin project. Speaking to Tom Phillips at E3 from Eurogamer, he didn't really give away much but confirmed the project was still in development. Quote from Shigeru Miyamoto, "I've been told not to share anything about this from PR." Miyamoto laughed, "But I can tell you that it is progressing." So it's been almost exactly 2 years since Miyamoto first mentioned that, hey, the next Pikmin game is in development. When they talked about it, I think it was around July 2015, the article says here, and this is what he had to say back then 2 years ago. "It's actually very close to completion," Miyamoto said at the time. "Pikmin teams are always working on the next one." Nintendo then followed up the news to Eurogamer in a separate statement saying, quote, "We can confirm that Pikmin 4 is in development, but that is all we can confirm at the present." So you can look forward to the Hey Pikmin game that's coming out, and it seems like Pikmin 4 will probably be announced next year at some point, or maybe even at its own theme direct. Maybe Nintendo's planning some short Pikmin movies that they did before, you know, we saw that, and planning Pikmin 4 around that. So they're going to have a slow lead up to that. Nintendo has a lot of games for 2017. We have ARMS coming out tomorrow. We have Splatoon 2 coming out next month. We have Pokken and Mario Cross Rabbids coming out in the following months after that. Fire Emblem Warriors, we have Super Mario Odyssey, we have Xenoblade 2. There are just so many games to focus on, so I can understand why Nintendo's just like, hey, don't talk about it, we'll talk about it next year. And even 2018 is looking pretty good as well, with a brand new Yoshi game, a brand new Kirby game, potentially Metroid Prime 4, and we also have Shin Megami Tensei, Fire Emblem, and the No More Heroes game, our Travis Touchdown game. So there's a lot of exclusive content coming to the Nintendo Switch, whether it's this year or next year. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a next year reveal, or at the end of this year reveal in a direct, and then a launch in 2018 for Pikmin 4 on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 message from Takahashi. This game started development while Xenoblade Chronicles X was still in development. So this message comes from Monolith Soft's Tetsuya Takahashi. Quote, "A young adult story with a taste of boy meets girl." Shout out to Topanga. "Lately it feels like all I've been doing are games full of devastation, like where your hometown burns down at the start, or the spaceship you're riding crashes. Oh wait, that is all I ever do. Sometimes I want to just try something different. I want to make something that people can look back on fondly one day as something that really shaped their lives. Something like what I loved as a boy, like Oliver by Carol Reed and Galaxy Express 999 by Rintaro. That's why I started working on this game. I'll leave the stories out about the solemn old men and hot stylish guys to someone else, even though there's way more demand for that stuff. And go ahead with this. That's what was on my mind around the end of 2014 through early 2015. Yeah, we started while Xenoblade X was still in development. We're building a whole new Xenoblade title using the foundation laid by X. That's the core of the project. Some people think exploration is what games should be all about, while some are like, no, story is what's best. Well, I've got something perfect for both of those kinds of people, Xenoblade 2. And that's what I wanted to tell you with my first announcement. Sound cool? There are still a ton of surprises left, of course. I'll be revealing little bits of information and riling everyone up all the way until release. And that was my June of 2017. Wait, will we even meet the release deadline? Tetsuya Takahashi. And yes, they're definitely going to meet that deadline. They talked about it. They showed it off at the Treehouse Live, and this game looks amazing. They've made some little tweaks here and there, and I'll have a video detailing it more, but I did want to discuss that as far as the combat system in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So this time the art palettes, they're not laid out across basically horizontally. Now you have them in diamond shaped, or basically like a four-pronged button grid, and on each side. So you have your blades that you can use, and that's what Pyre is and some of the other people. Then you have your drivers, which is what the main character is, and he wields that blade. And you guys are kind of tethered through like a little elastic blue cord, really like an energy cord, and she powers up your blade. Now what you can do is you can swap between any of your arts on the right hand side. You can basically use them at any point with the button press. You don't have to scroll through. So now you have access to more at a faster pace than actually having to scroll through and pick something while moving around. Now a couple other changes in this game is that when you're moving around in there, you don't auto attack. Alright, before you used to be able to auto attack and move at the same time. Now for series veterans, you know that when you auto attack, that builds up your skills or your arts palette. Same thing happens here, but this time you actually have a 3-hit combo. So you want to make sure that you stand still, and then you'll hit them once, you'll hit them twice, and then you'll finish off, and that's going to charge up your arts. Now after your arts are charged up and you use those arts, that will charge up your blade skill, and each blade has a skill that they can do. So Pyre, she has the fire ability, and then you can get multiple different blades and have access to them on the left hand side. So they showed it off to where you can actually change blades as well and just basically link up combos doing that. So the combat system to me is much more simpler. It's better because you have a button press to access multiple different arts. You don't have to scroll through, and you have multiple different blades to use in order to have access to a bunch of different arts. So I'm loving what they're doing there. But with this one, you have access to a lot of them when you have 3 different blades that you can pick from on the left side. So you can mix and match. And in the blade screen, you can see that there's a lot of different slots for blades. So you're going to get a lot of different options. There's going to be a lot of variety, and I'm really looking forward to playing more and talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 more in the coming months. And yes, I will have a full combat video breakdown and analysis based off of the Treehouse footage, so look forward to that and getting my personal take on what they've changed, what's in the world, and so much more. I got a lot to talk about when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'm so happy and excited to get working on that. So look forward to that probably this weekend after the E3 madness kind of dies down a bit. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow. All of our social media. It really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page. They got a brand new layout there. We've got some awesome prizes, perks, and rewards from Discord voice chat and our live streams. $10 prized eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Arms, and more. So there's a ton of great stuff going on Patreon. Even at the lowest tier, you get the bulk of the content. So check out the Patreon page and support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.